People suffer from poverty and hunger for as long as humans has ever existed. Now in the 21st century, our society has reached an unprecedented level in our human antiquity through digital technologies and product development. Still, there are still thousands of millions of people who are still suffering in living extreme poverty and hunger. According to a report from United Nations, 10% of the world's population, which is more than 700 million people, are still struggling to fulfill their basic necessities, like getting access to water, education, health, and others. Just to let you know that the poverty rate in the rural areas has reached a level of 17.2%, which is 3 times higher compared to the urban areas. Countries and regions who has reached the highest poverty rates like South Sudan, which is 82.3%. Equatorial Guinea and Madagascar. All these countries are mostly located in the center and the south part of Africa. Somalia is ranked as the hungriest country in the world as stated in 2021. Poverty and hunger both are in the goals of United Nations as no poverty and zero hunger. But these two goals could not be achieved in the next 9 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic and climate crisis. Poverty and hunger are closely related. To end these two issues is one of the most challenging goals in the world we should fight on. Once I saw a video on social media. The people are still struggling just to stay alive. So now let's take a look at this video.
Your dignity is tied to every other human being on Earth. When millions of us struggle to survive, human energy is diminished. When so many of us are still hungry, human potential is suffocated. Poverty has many forms, but no borders. To become fully human, we must free ourselves from the tyranny of poverty and from the grip of hunger everywhere. As we end poverty, true prosperity begins. As we end hunger, we all start to flourish. We have the ability, means, and capacity to create a world where all humans have dignity and our potential is fully realized. This is the story you are shaping.
Good morning, Madam Nadira and all my fellow friends. My name is Mable Xuewei and my Matric number is 279652. Today I would like to talk about we should do more to end poverty and hunger. And the first one is to persist in supporting the poorest people. No one wants their fate to be poor. People face poverty and hunger is due to many dimensions like unemployment, disease, climate disasters, which stop them from being efficient and productive. So what we can do is to support them in different ways to maintain their living. So first, we can support them financially. Donations can be made in different ways. Basic necessities like food, clothes, books, or money are actually something that they hope for. Donating food can help them to reduce the hunger for the poor and for the global sustainability. We can also reduce the waste. It's a win-win situation. An example here is Food for All. This is an organization that will require customers to donate extra amount of money while consuming. Its mission is to eat, help, and save. It's because of this they managed to raise nearly 60 million to fight for the zero hunger in 2015. Other than that, donations can be also made in many ways. Through the power of social media, or even creating collection drives around you, should take a step to offer a hand. Fundraising sites like DonorBox, GoFundMe, and Crowdfunder. These sites raise money for charity to fight against poverty and hunger. Subscribing to these websites does not need any startup costs. It's totally up to your free will. Other than that, people can also do charity through collection drives. If you don't have the ability to do charity financially, we can also conduct the collection drives for books, blankets, or food just to help the needy people. Normally you can find these collection drives at churches, schools, or any neighborhood. I'm a Christian, and every week my family will collect all old belongings from friends and neighbors and send them there. As time goes by, if my friends or any neighbors have any extra belongings that they do not want, they will automatically donate them to me. So I will send them there to the church. So other than that, we can also support the poorest people through self-volunteering. Self-volunteering is when people offer help selflessly in many ways. Even if you don't have the money or anything to donate, you can also offer your time to help in distributing resources to the poorest. Small actions that you can do your surroundings, like buying homeless people meals, offering them a ride, and is also part of volunteering. All of these small efforts counts. Sometimes you do not need to do big things to change the world. Sparing your time can create great wonders for needy and poor people. Sometimes a person's ability just an excuse for being selfish and unsympathetic. So now, get creative in investments is also a way to end poverty and hunger. People can try to invest more in education programs for children to fight against poverty and hunger. Education helps people to work better and to provide more opportunities to sustain economic growth. People who struggle in poverty do not have enough money to invest education for their children. The word education defines more just than writing or reading. This has the ability to change your family standards and the country into the better position. So what we can do here is to invest in schools, to provide free lunch programs, to provide them free materials for education. Free lunch programs can help to decrease their food insecurities and positively influence their health conditions. Children who receive adequate nutrition will have better behavior and cognition. Other than that, they can also pay extra attention in class without worrying what they'll be eating for the next meal. So I believe every school have undergone this kind of program. So as in Malaysia, we have taken part in a program called Food Bank Malaysia Foundation. So whereby this foundation helps a total of 20 public universities. Throughout this program has happened during 2019. A total of 300 students from University of Utara Malaysia has been benefited to reduce their burden from high cost of living. Other than donating in educating backgrounds, we can also invest in homes to reduce poverty and hunger. Now you may think that investing in homes may not seem like it will be useful. Let me tell you a story. A family who live in a tiny village in Santa Clara. So in Santa Clara, they do not have any access to power and water. The most common natural disaster that happen in the village is landslides. Not even motorcycles can go into the entrance of the village. The couple here, named Denise and Raphael, together they raise 10 children. This family earns a living from farming. They even share a kitchen with animals. Construction workers used to go to their homes to order some food, and this is an extra income for them as their main job is farming. So as time goes by, the customers help them, this couple, to upgrade their homes. They even install a new water system. So after installing a new water system, Denise thought that this brand new opportunity to start their own business and sell meals with just $2 per meal to their customers, their friends, and the community around them. So through this story, we can see that even social housing is not just building a better home to live, but a small act to provide economic benefits to help poverty and hunger. And the third one is through moral consolation. The first one is to reduce the way how people think about poverty stereotypes. In this cruel reality, people often have negative stereotypes towards poverty people compared to the middle class people. People may treat poverty rudely because they think that themselves are living at the higher standards. Poverty people feel much inferior because they do not have the power to bargain and the right to speak for themselves. This is also what we call it as bullying and discrimination. So we should have empathy towards people in need. Try to think in their shoes and understand what situation environment they are living in. We have to change our mindsets and look down upon people we should know that there is a possibility that one day the person we look down on might surpass us. So here is an international Christian humanitarian organization. So every year they will organize a campaign called 30-Hour Famine. This campaign is an international youth movement to raise awareness for hunger and poverty. Throughout this campaign, they are raising funds to offer help in water, sanitization, and hygiene. They can also raise awareness to all young people to understand what is going on the other side of the world. So other than that, the most important serious problem is discrimination and gender equality should be reduced to end poverty and hunger. Women and girls face too much discrimination and other inequalities all over the world. People must understand that to end poverty and hunger, we should also work to achieve gender equality. Throughout these years, results have shown that healthy and educated women have the ability to improve the nation's economic situation. But women always face discrimination, especially during economic crisis. Especially the example on COVID-19 pandemic. Many people lost their jobs and statistics show that most of them are women who have children. Companies think that they have more commitment to family and will not focus more on work. So many companies will discriminate against women by using this kind of excuses. On the other hand, in Africa, the government of Africa respects the empowerment of women who give equal chances to them. African women are very independent. They will cross countries to share services and goods when they need them. They have the ability to share their own goods and the ability to open their own small business to maintain their living. Women have the right to have mutual respect and receive the same opportunity. Who knows one day that women will be the one who lead the nation? So a quote said by Moloch Benzadi, "The saddest thing in life is to see people suffer from hunger and poverty, living in a world of plenty. The world has sufficient materials and the ability to help to reduce poverty and hunger. Yet, there are still millions of people who are still waiting for our help. If we have the ability to do more, we could reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. Why don't we start now? Every tiny effort counts. We are the only generation that can end poverty and hunger. This should not be the only dream, but it is an opportunity for us to succeed in ending the impossible. We should not be selfish and start to help others." To sum up, poverty and hunger cannot be solved by one person's power. Therefore, we should hold hands together and solve the main accessibility in people, community, society, and even the nation. So as said by Lecoq, no one can whistle a symphony. It takes the whole orchestra to play it. So thank you for listening.